They oppressed you. Rob the out of them. That's what they deserve. They don't deserve anything nice from you.
Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? I've had to cover some truly hypocritical weasels the last few years. Ever since this woke thing became, well, a thing, we've seen it everywhere. We've seen the most deranged, dishonest, cowardly, unendingly hypocritical people lie like a Chinese Rolex all of the time, every day, because they're in the grip of a pathology and they're completely shameless and they feel nothing. They feel no empathy, no shame, just none of the, normal human emotions that normal people feel. When they spend 24 hours a day pushing a narrative, it seems to be the core of why we're in this mess. We think the lefties are simply naive, easily led, but they think we are genuinely evil for disagreeing with them because they are radical collectivists. They have no qualms about behaving as if they're genuinely incapable of feeling guilt. It's not an emotion that they understand. So this fella, right, I talked about him yesterday when I was on with Rags, and he showed me this video, and it blew my tiny mind because it features some crybaby who's gone to the media claiming to be the victim, like they always do. Same as these people, they'll send J.K. Rowling murderous threats for 3 years, and then the second she name drops one of them on Twitter, they play the victim. Like, oh my god, they've put me in danger. No, you're just a weasel. You are a sloshing portaloo of a human being, and your dishonesty staggers me. So before I run out of eloquent ways of describing a bipedal reptile, let me introduce you to the subject of today's video. The headline being, Irish citizen moved out of his home by Gardaí after racist death threats. An Irish citizen has been moved out of his home by the Gardaí after receiving death threats from far-right agitators, the Irish Mail on Sunday has learned. Everyone's far. J.K. Rowling's far-right, Russell Brand's far-right, Posey Parker's far-right, Joe Rogan's far-right. If you're not a communist, you're far right, so I'll take that with a pinch of salt. And now let me introduce you to the odious little reptile who is claiming to be the victim. This fella here, who claims to be a musician, but we all know what he really means is career welfare recipient. Yeah, he's had more dole money than Lizzie Bardsley, Mick Philpott and Rab C. Nesbitt put together. You've bought every single can of special brew and every Super King tab that he's belt-fed into him for the last 25 years. You know it, and I know it. His name is Andre Buchanan. He's about as Irish as Emperor Hirohito, and I'm going to explain to you what the truth is behind this story, and I'll give you a clue. It's absolutely nothing like Mr. Buchanan has made out. In fact, he is a militant commie activist who has spent the last 4 years making violent content on Twitter that would have seen someone who looks like me get arrested and sent to prison many years ago, and yet he is somehow now claiming to be the victim of a vile campaign. So, strap yourselves in while I show you just some of the videos that the aforementioned odious little pipsqueak has been allowed to throw into cyberspace with impunity. If you are angered easily or have very high blood pressure, I suggest you look away now. Alright? Because you might get a little bit raged. Okay then, Mr. Buchanan, the bloke is a mischief maker, a trouble causer. I could dredge through hundreds of hours of genuinely vile content. Content so bad that if I made any of it, I would have been banned from all social media platforms many years ago, and the coppers would have wore my front door down to sawdust from knocking on it so much. But he's allowed to do it because he's got a bit of a tan. Here is just the merest glimpse of some of the stuff that he's been allowed to put into cyberspace with impunity.
Don't listen to these people. They don't know what life is. They don't even know who they are. You know, they don't even know how to protect their own country. You know what I mean? The cheek of these people. The cheek of the authorities in this country. The cheek of them. Don't make sure they don't take nothing from you. You know, if you're going out with your friend, make sure you strap up. Yeah, don't be afraid to strap up. You don't it's not going into the bedroom. The cheek of them.
This is a cooker.
Excuse me, move out of my way.
No, this is a cooker.
I'm not
It's a
telling you,
fire
move
hazard.
out of my way.
This is a cooker. It's a fire
Listen,
hazard.
move out of my way.
This is a fire hazard.
Don't touch me. Get your hands off me. Don't touch me.
No problem. Listen, we'll deal with this tomorrow. No problem.
Don't touch me. Your hands off me, a lot of you. You racist piece of shit.
Well, I can't show you too much of that one because I'll reduce my mouse to spare parts clicking the bleep button if I show you this guy's video. He openly advocates carrying weapons and committing acts of violence against the native Irish people. And in that video, he proper gets aggressive with a man and his woman there. Probably his unfortunate landlords who are now thinking, by God, how do I get this absolute weasel out of my property? And well, good luck with that, mate. Good luck with that. He'll be clinging to the kitchen counter like a limpet for the rest of his life. You're not getting rid of him. Anyway, let's have a look at a bit more, just for fun.
They oppressed you. Rob the out of them. That's what they deserve. They don't deserve anything nice from you.
Openly calling for people to rob and violently attack members of the Irish general public. Nice fella. Nice fella. You know what we should do? We should get a left-wing media organisation to write a fluff piece telling everybody that he's the victim. Because after he's spent years openly telling everyone, openly telling the general public in Ireland, I hate you, I think it should be acceptable for us to steal from you, I will hurt you, I am strapped, I carry weapons, and I promote myself and my friends carrying weapons so we can hurt people that look a bit different to us. This is what he's been advocating for years, but apparently the media's decided that he's the victim. Yeah, cheers, easy.
The next time these dirty racist people in this country oppress me and my family in this country, I'm taking a tool, I'm strapping up and I'm going house to house. And I advise every migrant in this country, if you grew up in this country and your document was taken away from you unlawfully, strap up and go house to house and be Santa Claus in reverse. Yeah, go down the chimney and take all the presents and give to your kid because your children deserve a life too. They did it to me and they're lucky I didn't go from house to house and taking everything that they have.
I'll give him bonus points for that one, right? Santa Claus in reverse is a comical way of describing burglary. That's a very poetic way of saying, I'm a dirty, scruffy dole waller and I'm going to come down your chimney and rob all your presents at Christmas time, whilst armed, by the way, and he's telling other migrants to rob people whilst armed and defend themselves by any means necessary. So essentially, he's on TikTok, you can find him. He's been doing this for many years, constantly race baiting, constantly antagonising the locals, and then lo and behold, what do the newspapers write about? This week, Mr. Buchanan, a musician who moved to Ireland from Jamaica when he was 9 years old, received a bomb threat. He also featured in a video posted to TikTok by a man who gave his new location away and told his followers he needs to be removed. Speaking to MOS this week, Mr. Buchanan, who also goes by the name Cannon, told how he is frightened. They're threatening me. I've reported this stuff 1,000 times. I have a newborn son. I have to protect my family now. The brass neck on this fella. The neck of 10,000 giraffes. What a little creature. This is called reaping what you sow, mate. Sow the wind, reap the whirlwind. You've been going on social media for years telling people that you despise white people and you think it's a good idea to stab them and steal from them. You've finally been noticed by a bunch of people who are willing to actually stand up for themselves, and now you snapped one off in your pants and go crying to the media like a histrionic prepubescent lesbian. It's embarrassing. You should feel very bad. In fact, give yourself a makeshift facelift just to try and escape the shame. Although no, don't do that. If you're as good at plastic surgery as you are a musician, you'll end up looking like a black Simon Weston. Don't do that. That was bad advice. I apologise. In a video, a muffled voice says, "This is a warning for Andrew Buchanan. We see you and we know you will get you. This is the Irish people. We are the real ones. You won't see us, you won't hear us until it's too late." Yeah, okay, that's not really acceptable behaviour, but isn't that just what you've been doing for years? For years. This here is a retaliation. It's a response. They didn't even know who Andrew Buchanan was. Never heard of him. Then someone's pointed them at the 3 years of hate that he's been putting out on social media, and they've responded to it. So whose fault is it? Is it my fault? Is it the Irish government's fault? No, it's you gobbing off on TikTok like an absolute bellend. And now you're crying about it. But the worst part of it, the most sickening part of it is, in this entire story, not once does the media point out that he is a hooligan who's been promoting theft, robbery, burglary and violence, racially motivated violence against the native people of Ireland. And not once does this ratbag journalist point any of that out. Not once. You could, if you're trying to be even slightly impartial, you'd just make light of it, wouldn't you? You'd put something in there, like 2 sentences. Some claim that this is a retaliation, as Mr. Buchanan has put some inflammatory videos on social media in the past. Just put that in. Just put that in. You can minimise it. Don't mention the fact he said stab people, knife people, steal off people, burglarise people, don't like the white people, don't trust the white people, hurt the white people. You don't have to mention any of that. You could do 2 sentences saying, many would argue that being deliberately inflammatory on social media for many years could possibly have caused all of this, but there's not a peep. Not a peep. I'll prove it to you. Let's finish this bilge. The footage finishes with the sound of a gun and a picture of a bullet. Mr. Buchanan, who is truly talentless and definitely a dull bum because apparently he got a music deal in Asia in 2020. At the age of 12, he had to put out a fire at his family home in Waterford. Allegedly. Where is the evidence for this? A terrifying incident fueled his awareness about racism. He claims he has become a target for calling out racists. It's gotten worse in the last few years. I'm in a group chat with the black community in Ireland and we tell each other where to go. Now I have a full-on threat against me. I may have to seek asylum out of Ireland. The Gardaí are aware of the threats. And that's it. Look, done. Nothing. He claims he has become a target for calling out racists. That is all you get. What a bunch of ratbags, the reporters and the dull bum himself. He claims he has become a target for calling out racists. Check his TikTok. He advocates race-based violence, theft, robbery, and carrying weapons. And he's done it for years. Don't tell me it's because he's called out racist. He just told me to do a reverse Santa Claus on someone. What do you think he's talking about? It's unbelievable. These people are shameless, and that whole piece is a joke. So, in summation, this fella should be prosecuted, charged with hate crimes, certainly charged with promoting violence, burglary, intimidation, and carrying a deadly weapon. He should have been arrested. If he looked like me, he would have been arrested, and you definitely wouldn't get the media giving him this nice fluff piece. Look what they've done to Tony Romo over in Luton. Look at the stories they've wrote about him. He never said you should burglarise and stab people, did he? But they can't stop locking him up. As usual, it's just more evidence of the two-tier justice system that now prevails all across the Western world. It's not just in England and Ireland and Scotland and Wales and the United States. It's everywhere because the globalist psychopaths run the Western world and they're all sticking to the playbook. So, let me know what you think in the comments. If you think that video that I showed you was perfectly reasonable and Mr. Buchanan hasn't done anything wrong, then let me know in the comments so I can point out that you would lose a debate against drunk Forrest Gump. Alright? Easy. Thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you think in the comments. And I'll see you all very soon. Alright? Toodle pip. Cheers.